Alright, back to take care of these gorms. Or golems, as they should be. These guys are actually usually a pain to fight just because they're only susceptible to fire and effective against hard. And at this point in the game, you really don't have a lot of variety. And they are protected against some of the other elements like holy, ice, that kind of thing. Speaking of ice, in the first 9 floors we were looking for red chest, helmets, shields, rings, and rocks. And in 10 through 20, we're mostly looking for elemental weapons. Some really key elemental weapons appear here. For example, the Silver Rapier, which I already got. Cold Rapier. I could even use 2 of those, having Salon and Maxim. Burn Sword. That would really come in handy since I have 3 characters in my party right now that can use it. A little bit more about getting a surprise attack. I kind of thought everyone already knew about that, but I just watched on YouTube, Dave the Usher did a playthrough of Lufia 2, and the one clip of his I happened to watch, he was actually towards the end of the game. He was on the, where you go to those 3 towers on the 3 islands or whatever it is. And even at that point in the game, he still wasn't insisting on getting a surprise attack. He was in one of those rooms where you have to defeat an enemy to make the stairs appear. And the enemy was stationary, wasn't moving. And he didn't move around to the back of it to get the surprise attack. He did a side attack and happened to get the surprise attack, but, you know, just a couple of more. He went like this to the enemy instead of just moving around him like this. 3rd HP pad already. That was kind of a mistake to do that. You usually need to check your weapons before facing Wispies. They're really susceptible to ice, but I don't have any right now. Of course, having an HP pad on this floor didn't hurt me at all. One thing interesting about Wispies is they're moving upwards. If I had got out of its way and it had continued to go up like this, it would have got lodged in this doorway and I would have had to have faced it. And of course in this run I would have anyways, but one of the interesting things about Wispies. Now normally, or not normally, all the time, when you land on the floor, all enemies are facing downward until you start moving and affect their movements. They're all facing downward. And really, Wispies aren't going to be too much of a problem for me here just because I have such a large party. But with smaller parties, you've probably already been able to tell how dangerous they can be because they're so fast they're always going to move first. They have some really powerful attacks. They've got Flash that attacks all the enemies. If you're using Darby, one of their physical attacks takes him out ASAP. Wow, you can see that Blaze is already to level 17, meaning that he's not getting his normal boost every time. And I'm not sure I've got enough to evolve him. No, I don't think so. So he's just going to have to get the lesser uppers until I can get some more stuff to feed him. And that's not unusual in a 4-character run, just because they're all being used. Anyway, back to Wispies. Another thing that makes them dangerous is how fast they can reproduce. And because they go first, if you think you're about done with the battle and they reproduce, you don't really have a chance to get out of there because they get to go first in the next round. Now, we were hoping for some wood shields. In floors 10 through 20, you'll get some opportunities to get some drops, wood shields from the skeletons, jet helms from orcs. And you see that their cast of flash wasn't very effective there, but when you have fewer people in the party, it's magnified. And then the other drop is Blue Berets by Dobyns. Then after that, you've got Skull Lizards in the 20s that can drop a made shield, but then that's almost it. For the rest of the AC, until you face the Sphinx that can drop the old helmet, there's nothing else for you in terms of drops for helmets, shields, that kind of thing. Come on, wood shields. Now, if we don't get any wood shields here, or not enough to spread around, of course we've got blue chests, hopefully, then also necromancers. I think that's how that's pronounced. I can't remember whether maybe the 30s, late 20s. If you let them kind of hang around and call companions, they'll oftentimes call skeletons. Now here's a great example of order of enemies you want to defeat. I want to defeat the skeleton first, just in case he does drop the wood shield. Because if I drop these guys first, I shouldn't say drop, if I kill these ghouls first, they might give me an antidote blocking me from getting the wood shield. Nothing. Since I'm not doing instant death, hopefully, I just realized, since I don't have use of Darby, I may end up having to use instant death, assuming I get to the metallic dragons. But since I won't be needing the deadly rod, that's really good capsule monster food. Well, tough hide, that's not a great armor, but as a lot of you know, that's one of the few ways that you can heal yourself when you don't have a healing spell. So that could come in really handy. See, now here is an interesting example of drops again. Goblin drops a short sword. Regal Goblin drops the Francisca. I don't know how to pronounce that either. And then armor goblins drop tough hide. So I'll probably want to try for another tough hide, just so give my warrior guys a chance to heal if they need to. Cool. Alright, that's about it for this floor. Let me stop recording right now.